Hey everyone, and welcome back for yet another F4 race. But today we're here at Watkins Glen for an event that turned out to be incredibly tight with heaps of slipstream and final lap battles. So without further ado, let's head to the grid where I've managed to qualify in P14. So we are on the grid and the lights are on and we are about to get underway. My friend had told me this race had been carnage with lots of slipstream and very tight battles. So I was worried off the lights, but we get a good start and we managed to instantly cut to the inside and hold our position up front, and we almost go straight into the back of the driver in front, and that makes us super slow as we try to keep it clean, and hopefully there's no one on our outside because you just lose heaps of time going side by side through these sweeping straights up the hill and onto the main, or not main straight, but the longer straight of the track. And this is where the slipstream really kicks in, and you could be quicker than the driver behind in every corner, but they will just regain all that time right here. But we continue on. We have actually gained 2 positions from where we started, but you can see up front just how tight it is. Cars going side by side through that sweeping corner. But now we get into the more technical part of the track here. Through the left hand, it's still tight. No accidents yet up front, which is pretty surprising, but we're on a decent space here of our own. We don't have any cars that we're battling with directly just yet, as Singe goes down the inside of Kindler into the sweeping uphill right-hander, and now we are all over the back of Kindler. And are we going to go for a move down the back straight? No, we're not. As Kindler goes defensive, he's going to force us to the outside, but we're going to brake nice and early to avoid any contact, as those two in front did have banging wheels at the apex of that corner. But now we go into the tricky left-hander where it's so easy to lose the rear end. You've got to be very careful on throttle. But we have managed to survive that corner, and now through the quick flat left-hander, we're going to run it a bit wide, get caught on the curb, but there's a car on the inside and we're going to have to avoid as we go through the final corner. But now there's contact there as well. Singe turns Kindler round on the final corner of the exit of that final corner, and now we are in trouble. We are under attack by Irwin, who's actually managed to sneak up in front. We're going to hold the inside line into the first corner, but we give him plenty space on the outside, not wanting to make any contact at all and end our race early. But now through the sweeping corners, we should have the better of him. With that first inside line, we're going to come right across his nose, and he's going to have to back out of that one. But he is going to gain all that time back down the straight with the slipstream as we go a little bit defensive, but not to defend the corner, just to break the slipstream. But you can see at the rate he is gaining and gaining as he goes for the move down the inside, and I am not going to fight this one. I'm just going to attempt to live another day and hopefully bring the battle back to him later on. But for now, I'm not going to fight it. I'm still up 3 positions from where I started, and I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. But we are going to follow him as he's pulled away 0.5. You can see the gaggle of cars up in front who are battling constantly, and that is going to slow them right down and allow us to gain and gain as we continue on. You can see the gap is closing to the pack of 4 or 5 cars, however many it is up front, as we now go into this right-hander before the tricky left-hander. You can see cars running it wide. They're all side by side, and that's even more. That's 6 cars, not 5. More than I expected. And now through the tricky left-hander, we're kind of gaining a little bit on Irwin, but there's an accident up front, and he's lost it. We just managed to avoid, but make a bit of contact with the wall. And oh, that was very close, and I think that was Singe who got spun round, or spun himself round, and that's a little bit of karma for his contact with Kindler earlier on. But there you can see, there's the first car, and there's the little bit of contact with Kindler on Singe, or Singe on Kindler, I can't quite remember. That spun him round, but here we go. Here's the other one, I think it was Singe. He just loses it, as I said, not careful enough on the throttle, and he just comes right across the track. And he just sits in the middle, very dangerous. And now as he rejoins, he almost runs it straight into the side of Singe, or Kindler. Again, I've confused which one's which. But now we continue on to one of the later laps, and you can see this pack fighting with the slipstream is absolutely incredible. Look at the 6 cars going into the sweeping right-hander, and they are going to be fighting with another 2 close behind their pack. And then me in the background. Now they go into the left-hander, and it's super tight. Good clean racing so far. but this is going to continue on for a while as we go on board with the orange and blue cars. He sends it down the inside to go for a very, very good move, and he gets it done, I believe, as the other car is forced to drop in behind. But now we continue on through that lap, and you can see they are still fighting side by side into this right-hander. Multiple cars going side by side, and they keep going, and look at that. This is just absolutely brilliant racing. Good big pack. That's 6-7 cars with an 8th just ahead and the 9th of me just behind. And this must heat up. There's no way they're going to be able to continue like this without any accidents. Surely not. Surely it must come to an end at some point. But for now, it seems perfectly fine. As they head down the main straight to begin the next lap, they are still fighting. And you can see the side by side in the background there as we follow this red and white car down the main straight, or the long straight. I keep getting it confused. Down the long weaving straight. They are still fighting, and the slipstream is going to allow all of them to bunch back up together down the straight. As we now go on board with the red and white car, you can see him gaining and gaining. Are they going to make this 3 wide? Is he going to go for it? No, he backs off the throttle just a little bit. He's not wanting to risk the 3 wide, and he's going to sit just behind for now as they head into the sweeper, and they're keeping it nice and close. They managed to pull away from the pack behind now, so they've separated a bit. It's now a pack of 4 and 3, but these 3 are gaining on the blue and black car up in front, and maybe they'll catch up to him. As you can see, another pack of 3 even further in front of them, and you can just see this is maybe lap 6, 5 or 6, or 4 then, no 5, sorry. And look how tight these packs are this late into the race. Not many tracks have this. And even some of the cars that spun out are still managing to fight back up, as there he is. Spencer Irwin is off into the wall. And he is, if you remember, the car we let through on the inside into the sweeper on lap 2 because we didn't want any contact. But there's another car spun around, and we have to just avoid running completely wide, but no incidents whatsoever for that. And that is 2 positions we've gained in a matter of couple corners just because of silly driver mistakes. And here's a back marker that we sweep around. He's not even contending, to be honest. But that is just brilliant. 2 free positions in the matter of corners. And it didn't look like there was contact. Maybe there was with the second car. But the first one was definitely just a driver error. But now we continue on. We are P9. And we are not too far off the car in front. We can definitely gain on him as we put in better laps. But anyway, here is a replay then of what happened. You can see he just completely loses it. Maybe gets a wheel on the grass. But here's these 2. The Fanatec versus the Moser. Which is going to come out on top? Well, of course, we know. But we will have a look as they head into the corner. And it looks like the Moser loses it on his own and slides off into the side of the Fanatec car. So that, I guess, it means Fanatec triumphs, I guess. But there we go. He almost loses it himself and puts it in the wall. That genuinely would have been a funny end to that. But anyway, we head to the live action on lap 6, and you can see we are still a similar distance. But there's a car off to the side, having obviously spun through the sweeper. And that is yet another free position, and we are up into P8. And as our spotter just said, we are looking good. We have gained 6 positions from the start, and we are still a similar distance from Sato in front. But are we going to be able to get the move done before the end of the race? I hope so. I definitely have more pace than what I'm putting on the board right now. But we'll just have to wait and see as we now look at the replay to see what happened. You can see this time he doesn't back out, and he does actually go for the move 3 wide into the sweeper. He's a little bit too hot, and he completely loses it, almost saves it. And then he runs wide off the track and just loses the rear end. He is lucky to avoid the wall mostly until that last bit. And he was very safe to rejoin. So kudos to him. But now we join back again on lap 8. And there's another car obviously spun on his own into turn 1. And that's another free position. So we're up into P7 as we go into the tricky corners now. And we are following close behind Sato in front. Hopefully he makes a mistake, but we have definitely gained a 10th or 2 since we've been going. And there it is. There's the mistake. He's lost it. And lucky for us, he's spun and whipped the car around in the opposite direction. Or the car has whipped around on its own in the opposite direction. So that is us up into P6 with only about 2 laps to go, maybe 3 at the most. And this is getting tight, but here we go, lap 12. We are on the final lap. The white flag is out, and we are miles behind. I am currently settling happily for P6 with a, what's that, 8 position gain. Really, really good. But I'm looking at the relative board, and I can see Matthias, Bass, and Javier, I don't know how you say his name, are all pretty close. But now we head into the left-hander, and there's an accident. There's an accident up front. Slow car on the right, and that is going to be Javier. He is slow, and he has obviously made contact or spun on his own, and that is us up into the top 5. Let's go on the final lap. But that's not it. We've got another slow car on the right, and there he is. The blue car of Matthias is coming across the track after having spun. And oh my, in the matter of 2 corners, on the final lap, we have jumped from P6 to P4, and now we are in a top 5 position, and maybe one more mistake from Bass up in front could mean a podium finish. I'm not relying on this, as I doubt he's going to make a silly mistake with a 4-second gap, but you never know. But now I'm just settling in for a P4. What a race. We gained 10 positions from the start, and 2 of them being in a matter of 2 corners on the final lap. Wow, that is good. You can see how happy I am. I'm weaving down the straight, giving a little bit to the fans, giving some excitement. That was fun. That was really good. Clean, most of it. Intense pack racing in the F4, something you don't get very often. But anyway, here's a replay then. So he just completely loses it on his own. Okay, so no contact for him. He kind of like half spins, corrects it, and then loses it again. And you can see me coming by there. But now here's what we really wanted to see. The 2 cars going at it. See, the blue car runs it a bit wide, half spins, and then the orange car makes contact, who also ran it wide, but he was not spinning, and he probably should have gotten on the brake so that he didn't just run into the side of the blue car and spin him round. But doesn't matter. It helped us. But there we go. These are the results from a very intense F4 race at Watkins Glen. You can see we gained 0.1 safety rating, a massive boost. 73 iRating as well, which is really good. And we had a fastest lap of a 47.6, which isn't the greatest, but it'll do. And you can see we went from P14 all the way up to P4. What a race. All green. Super happy with that. And if you guys are also happy and did enjoy it, make sure you go down below and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, so you never miss another video.